Good morning and thank you for joining us this hour on One American News. I'm Stephanie Myers. President Trump slams Maryland Governor Wes Moore for suggesting he walk the streets of Maryland with him following Trump's negative comments about Baltimore. In a Truth Social post Sunday, Trump said he assumes Moore is talking about the out-of-control, crime-ridden Baltimore and said he would prefer the governor clean up the crime disaster before joining him on a walk. Trump added if the governor needs help, he would gladly send in the troops like he did in D.C. Trump went on to say he will have to rethink the money he gave Maryland to fix the demolished Key Bridge, and in a later post, questioned if Moore lied about getting a Bronze Star.
I think what the president has tried to do here is try to engage in very aggressive, very energetic diplomacy because this war is not in anyone's interest.
Vice President J.D. Vance says the administration's energetic foreign policy will create lasting peace in Russia and Ukraine. In an interview Sunday, Vance said they won't reach a ceasefire overnight, claiming the Russians have not always been willing to negotiate. However, Vance also claimed the administration has applied pressure on the Russians, such as secondary tariffs on India, to get major concessions.
He's tried to make it clear that Russia can be re-invited into the world economy if they stop the killing, but they're going to continue to be isolated if they don't stop the killing. The president has applied more economic pressure to the Russians to stop this war than Biden did in 3 years. So the idea that we're not doing anything, we're already doing things right now, and this is how negotiation works.
Meantime, Trump is trying to get Putin and Zelensky to come together for direct negotiations. The Pentagon blocks Ukraine from launching missiles on Russia, saying it may only make things worse. A report Saturday says Ukraine was considering launching missiles aiming to strike deeply against Russian oil and resources. However, they say that since the spring, the Pentagon has developed a review process to determine if Ukraine could fire U.S.-made weapons deep into Russia, reporting they've denied Ukraine at least once already. This as the president looks to achieve peace between Ukraine and Russia, pushing for a trilateral meeting between the three leaders. From meeting with President Putin before the U.S.-European Leaders Summit to making D.C. safe again, here's White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt with last week's MAGA Minute.
Law and order, push-ups, and the pursuit of peace. Let's break it all down in another jam-packed MAGA Minute. The president traveled to Alaska to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin before hosting a productive summit here at the White House with Ukrainian President Zelensky, the NATO secretary, the president of the European Commission, and heads of state from the United Kingdom, Italy, Finland, Germany, and France, all to further efforts to end the Russia-Ukraine war. Foreign leaders have since remarked that more progress toward peace has been made in the last 2 weeks than in the past 3 years under Joe Biden. All we needed, clearly, was a new president. The president's initiative to make D.C. safe again has resulted in well over 600 arrests, including arrests of an MS-13 gang member, the seizure of illegal firearms and drugs off of the streets of our nation's capital. As a matter of fact, since President Trump began his crackdown on crime in D.C., all crime is down 9%, and violent crime is down 41% when compared to the 10 days before the president's executive actions. Additionally, carjackings are down 83%, robberies are down 58%, murders are down 50%, motor vehicle thefts are down 33%, and assaults with dangerous weapons are down 27%. The president on Thursday went to greet and thank the men and women undergoing this historic effort to make our nation's capital safe and beautiful again. And the vice president, J.D. Vance, visited Union Station to visit troops keeping our nation's capital safe and took some protesters to school. HHS Secretary Bobby Kennedy and Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth started quite the trend this week, encouraging other members of the cabinet and Americans like you across the country to participate in the Pete and Bobby Challenge. The challenge is 100 push-ups and 50 pull-ups in under 10 minutes. Can you do it? We want to see you try. And lastly, you should follow the White House on TikTok, where you will find some must-see content. It was another very busy week here at the White House. We will see you for next week for another very busy MAGA Minute.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.